If truth is stranger than fiction, former FBI Director James Comey has a lot of real-life material for his first novel. Central Park West tells the story of an assistant U.S. district attorney whose prosecution of a mobster leads her onto the trail of a high-profile murder conspiracy. James is promoting the book in Toronto this weekend at the Motive, Crime and Mystery Festival, but this morning he is joining us from New York, where this book is set. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Thanks for having me on.
Listen, you have 2 nonfiction books already to your name. What turned you to fiction?
The editor of the second nonfiction book started telling me I really ought to try it because he said, you write narrative well, you write dialogue well, and I resisted and finally gave it a shot and found it addictive. And so I'm really glad that he pushed me because this is what I want to do when I grow up now.
And in fact, I understand you've already written the sequel, or you're in the process of it right now?
Yeah, the second book is done in draft, being reviewed by my family and friends who love to brutalize me, but it involves the same federal prosecutor, Nora Carlton, who moves to a slightly different setting for another crime novel.
Amazing. Well, you obviously have latched on to something that you love. The lead character, as you mentioned, Nora Carlton, is an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, prosecuting the mob, the Gambino crime family, and more specifically, between 1987 and 1993, I don't know if you can see this, James, but this is a picture of a young James Comey, who was an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, sound familiar, prosecuting, among other cases, the Gambino crime family. You'd returned to in 2002 as the U.S. attorney. So what was the process in taking what was fact and then turning it into fiction?
Yeah, thanks for that flashback. I think I was taller then, who didn't know what was ahead of me. The process was thinking through the cases I had done, because though it's fiction, I want to show people what it's really like inside a mob case, and then bringing it forward to the present day through thinking about my daughter. My oldest daughter is, and was when I was writing this, the chief of the violent and organized crime unit in that same office. And she was on her feet trying a case, believe it or not, in the very same courtroom that 30 years earlier I had prosecuted John and Joe Gambino. So I could think about where I had been, but it was much more fun for me because Nora was inspired by my oldest girl. Of my 4 smart, tall daughters, I thought about her work, and it just flowed out of me because of that.
Did you check in with her to make sure you were on track, make sure it was accurate?
I did, because she was cringing about what I might be doing to her. And so I had her read it at least twice, and she found all kinds of stuff, including that I had put her fictional office on the wrong floor, which was mortifying, so I moved it.
Girls will always tell you, especially when it's their dads. Without giving too much away, let's just say that the justice system has some wins and some losses in this book. Did you want to make a point about its imperfections in this writing?
I did. I wanted to show folks that there's a difference between truth and justice. There are things that you can know in your heart of hearts and yet not be able to prove, and that sometimes bad people get away because we've set up our criminal justice systems that way. There's a burden of proof. There are hurdles that the government has to get over to put a person in jail. And the cost of that is bad people get away. But the benefit is that we don't, although we do sometimes, we don't jail innocent people. And so you can know something and not be able to prove it. And that's a thing that a prosecutor often takes some time to realize.
Mr. Comey, so many follow-up questions to what you just said, but we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Great to be with you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.